Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Magicshine EVO 1100 bike light. Magicshine's EVO lineup of headlights offer sharp beam cutoffs with high output LEDs to light up the road without blinding oncoming traffic. The EVO 1100 is one of the latest additions to the lineup and is one of the most affordable options. Packaging wise, you can see the classic black and orange color scheme that Magicshine's known for. It's a really nice glossy representation of the headlight right on the front. Then all the specs and everything written on it. I'll go ahead and open this up and we'll go over the specs. So retail price on this is $69.99, so pretty affordable given the fact that you have 1100 lumens of output. These are not STVZO certified, but they do have a nice sharp beam cutoff. So it's a really nice hybrid style light that gives you flash options, high output, but won't blind oncoming traffic. You have this really cool form factor as well. So you have a top mounted GoPro. So that lets you really easily attach this to your out front mount or the provided mount. And you also have an aluminum housing to help with heat dissipation and a wireless remote all included. You can see packaging wise really nicely designed. You don't have a bunch of excess packaging. Everything has its own little compartments. And you can see there's quite a few things in here. Pull everything out. We have the 1100 headlight. We have the out front mount, which is really nice to see at this price point. It is plastic construction, but dual-sided. The GoPro on the bottom and then Garmin on the top. You have a couple of shims that go with this to handle different handlebar mounts. We have some of the additional hardware here. We have a tether. We have a swappable component for the top. So the Garmin mount can be swapped out. You have a little Velcro strap that's used for the wireless remote, as well as some of the bolts and then the hex wrenches for the GoPro adapter on the bottom. USB Type-C charging cable, so nice modern interface. We also have the wireless remote here. So this is the same model that we see with a lot of their other products. So 2-button design, and it has a little watch battery on the inside. And then you can see it has a little shim behind it. And you also have the instruction manual and a little warranty card on the inside of the box. Now let's take a look at the weight of the light. So the light by itself, that comes out to 113 grams. You also have the wireless remote with a little shim. That's only 15. And then the basic part of the out front mount without any shims, it's all plastic construction, is only 44 grams. Visually, the EVO 1100 is simply a shorter variation of the Magicshine EVO 1700 headlight. That means the EVO 1100 shares this really unusual form factor. So it's taller rather than being wider. A traditional bike light will be long. This one is tall and short. So kind of an interesting design, and it almost looks like an old TV monitor with the curved lens display. And that's really the coolest feature about this. You can see it has an aspherical lens. So rather than just being flat with an LED, you can actually see the LED on the inside with the yellow. It's actually distorted to provide a really nice sharp beam cutoff. Magicshine also offers this in 2 different colors, which is really nice. There's an all black variation or the white variation we have here. With the white one, you get the white aluminum housing, a gray plastic rear cover, and then gray buttons, and then the mounting hardware. Unlike the EVO 1700, which has a chrome ring, this one is just all white here, so a little bit sleeker in appearance. And again, because it's shorter, it doesn't look like an old TV monitor when you flip it. It still has kind of a unique look, like an old CRT monitor, but it's definitely shorter and a little bit more compact. The mounting on this is probably the coolest portion of this, though. It is a top-mounted GoPro, so it's really designed to be mounted underneath. You cannot flip this. It is directional, so if you flip this, you're going to actually blind other people. So to accommodate that, they put the GoPro on the top. And you can see just standard 2 prongs. And it is actually removable. So if you were to put this on your out front mount, and they include this nice plastic out front mount, you can see it would just slide in, the 2 prongs here. And then you would bolt it in place. Instead of having to unbolt it, which could be inconvenient, they have a little quick release. So if I push down this button on the front and then pull forward, you can see there's a little tab there and a matching tab there. And this would stay on the mount and let you just pull this off. So for your Commuter, you can pop this off, leave the little adapter on here, and you have a nice quick release mechanism. You don't have to worry about the thumbscrew, which is really annoying with the GoPro. To put it back on, you just slide it in, push down the button, and it'll lock into place. So a very cool design and nice and secure. When it's in there, you can see there's no play. So nice and stiff and should hold it in place with no problem. The out front mount here is also really nice. So pretty simple plastic construction, Magicshine branding, and it's a right-hand side style. So you put Garmin on top and then this light on the bottom. And you can see it's nice extended design, which will put it away from your handlebar. So definitely cool that they include this. The user interface on this is pretty simple. You have one button. So the right side is the USB Type-C cover. And you can see it kind of mimics the shape of the button on the other side. And there's also a little hidden LED here. So if I press the button, you can see it has a little light indicator. This is the standard Magicshine multi-level battery status indicator. So green, red, or flashing red. So I can press it once just to check the battery. Really nice feature that I like about it. A long hold will turn it on. And here you can see the lens shape. Again, it is directional, don't flip it. So you can see nice sharp beam cutoff that lets you see everything on the road without blinding other people. And you can see when you look straight at it, there's no glare. A single press will cycle through the constant mode options. So there's 4 available options, low, medium, high, and then a flash option. With the button on here, you can't actually access flash. You have to use the wireless remote. So it's kind of nice. You won't accidentally get there. And then a long hold turns it off. You can also do the lockout mode. So if I do a long hold, this will flash. And when you first get this out of the box, you can see you'll have a flashing red button, and that means it's locked out. So great for transporting it. If you have it in your bag, it won't actually turn on. With this button design, it's hard to see the LED as you're operating it because your thumb kind of covers it. That's the only downside to this design versus the other Magicshine headlights. Now let's take a look at the output modes. There's basically 4 modes. You have low, medium, high, and you can see they about double for each one. You have a very distinctive beam here. You can see a little brighter region on top, and then this trapezoidal shape that pretty much eliminates all the glare. I'm not showing the flash here as it does require the remote. I actually didn't have it when I was filming this, but it's just the standard on-off flash. Here you can see some riding footage. You typically want to ride with a medium or high, as low as only 250 lumen and quite dim. Obviously GoPro makes everything look a little dimmer, but with this one you have a really well-defined beam, so you don't have a ton of flood or spread on here. It's really narrow, but it does light up the whole trail. It's a little bit smaller than the EVO 1300 or 1700, and you have no high beam here, and that's really the big difference. You just have the low beam here, so if you want more lights on darker regions, if you really want to light things up without this beam cutoff, you can go in the high modes with the other ones, but this one you're limited to this. And you can see here, as with any beam cutoff light, when you're making a turn, you're often doing it in the dark. So that's one big downside. They don't really have a lot of spread. So when you're turning, you have big dark regions. Otherwise, really nice light. There are minor artifacts here. You can see the little discolorations at the edges. It's kind of dual regions, but still really nice and bright. And at $70 at 1100 lumens, it's a pretty good deal. We've actually reviewed most of Magicshine lights, including all the other EVO options. So we actually have its bigger brother, the EVO 1700. So you can see they're actually identical, but this one does have a bigger rear for the 1700 to accommodate the larger battery, and it's taller too. So if you put them side by side, you can see how much bigger that lens is. So it makes the entire thing larger, and this is why this one looks more like a TV set when you flip it, as you have that almost square shape, while this one is more rectangular. Otherwise, we have the same white color scheme. They have the same buttons with the backlighting, same removable GoPro mount. It's just slightly different in terms of the lens size and then the run times. If you compare the output two, you can see that the 1700 has a bigger lens and obviously a bigger beam. You have the same artifacts on both, but you can see they both create this nice sharp beam cutoff, with the 1700 simply being brighter, while this one is a bit dimmer, obviously at the 1100 lumen output. But otherwise very nice and same trapezoidal shapes. The 1100 obviously looks a lot sleeker though. There also is the 1300, which is more of a traditional design, still top mounted Garmin mount. So you put this on a Garmin to GoPro adapter to get the angle adjustment. Much more traditional shape, so you can see the beam or the LEDs actually look identical. This one's just a lot longer rather than having the battery more vertically aligned. Beam shapes are very similar. These buttons are on the bottom, which is kind of a weird choice considering it's a top mounted light. would have been better on the side or the top. But you can see very similar size and shape of the beam, and they probably share components. There's also other Magicshine lights. We have the RN 1500, so nice anodized finish, but more traditional cone beam. So you can see if you're coming up to oncoming traffic, you don't have a sharp beam cutoff, so they will be blinded. So if you had somebody up here, you can see quite a bit of glare. You have the same kind of design. I like this button better though, because you can see it's nice, larger versus this more compact one. And it's a lot easier to check the battery status as it has a larger LED indicator. This EVO 1100 is not compatible with the Magicshine LightSKIN technology. That's available only on some of their newer ones, like the Alti 1200U. You can see a more traditional design. Again, no sharp beam cutoff, but they do have diffusers. So you'll see there's a little more light underneath than on top, as it helps kind of push the beam downward. With the LightSKIN, you get this cooler remote, so you can see a little sleeker design, brighter LEDs, and this will actually work with a taillight paired, which is really cool. So you can turn on taillight and the headlight with the single button, but that's not available here, as you have the more traditional standard remote. There are also a ton of options on the market if you want beam cutoff. The Trek Commuter Pro. It's kind of a cool one. It has interconnectivity with a taillight. So you can see I can see the taillight battery status and the headlight status all at the same time. You do get a beam cutoff, but you can see you have a lot more artifacts, as this just uses more of a top-mounted design. So LED on the top that just reflects down, while this one's more advanced aspherical lens that really helps distort the beam without all those artifacts. LightSKIN has some really cool options too. We have their NACA, so it's actually designed to mimic a NACA airfoil. Quite a bit more pricey, but you can see really sharp beam cutoff with less artifacts. They also have the U8, which has a top-mounted Garmin, which is actually flippable. That's a cool feature here. You can put this on the bottom or the top. That would have been nice to see with some of the Magicshine lights. And it has a dual indicator with this kind of dual lens too. So it has a high beam, low beam that you can turn off independently. And that's pretty cool. So again, sharp beam cutoff. And then more standard lights like the RAVEMEN K700. You can see no real beam cutoff, more simple features, and definitely has more glare. This one has more of a horizontal beam, which is interesting. So it has these horizontal diffusers, these vertical lines that diffuse the light horizontally versus this more advanced aspherical lens. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the Magicshine EVO 1100. What we like about it is very budget friendly. So quite affordable, especially for the 1100 lumen output. You also have that nice removable GoPro adapter, which makes it really easy to install and remove. You don't have to deal with a thumbscrew. Also, you have a nice sharp beam cutoff, which eliminates all the glare for oncoming traffic. The main negatives with this light is the fact that you do have beam artifacts at the edge. You can see that discoloration. And also, a flash mode is only accessible with the remote, which is kind of annoying, especially given the simple 4-mode setup with this light. Taking everything into account would give the light a 9.3 out of 10. It's a nice sharp beam cutoff light on a budget. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.